Kyle, what would you say if I told you we were going to review a movie about a man with a shady and secret past, with a certain set of skills, out to take down the evil, corrupt businessmen and governments that are trying to destroy the world?
Our Double Down review?
Nope, we watched On Deadly Ground with Steven Seagal. Hello and welcome to the 25th episode of Good Bad or Bad Bad, the show where we watch terrible movies and tell you if you should too. I am your host, coming at you this week in my Spider-Man shirt, Mr. Brian Shilligo. My co-host, the one, the only, the king himself of Hard Rock Cafe.
I already wore this shirt once.
This is a new one for me. Mr. Kyle Henton. Kyle, we've been a little bit of a jerks, so we're not doing our Double Down review yet.
Casey has it in as a sponge. I remember when I saw that, I was like, God, that is a sponge. Like a car sponge that he cut in half and then hinged open. It out, yeah. And then has vials in, like that's his sweet secret, top secret poison carrying case. It's a fucking car sponge.
But boy, oh boy,
it's pretty close.
It's pretty close.
It's pretty close.
I came to the realization as we were watching this film, and we'll talk about what this film is in a moment, that this could very well be the film that Neil Breen saw that made him want to make films, and because I was like, as I was watching it, and I got further and further. I'm like, oh my god, this is just like a competently made Neil Breen film. That's what this movie is. It's craziness. So we watched On Deadly Ground with Steven Seagal, the 1993 action extravaganza.
So Under Siege came out, and Steven Seagal just exploded.
Exploded, right, yeah.
This is his directorial debut. Apparently, somebody decided to hand the reins over to him.
Yeah, and he got himself a hell of a cast signed on. I mean, like, legit names.
Yeah, Michael Caine.
Yeah.
We got John C. Is it
McGinley? Dr. Cox.
You, my friend, look so damn leathery, I'm honestly tempted to wrap you around a baseball, cinch you up with a belt, and stick you under my mattress so that you're good and broken in for the big game on Sunday. Have a great day. You look like a purse.
A completely unrecognizable Billy Bob Thornton.
Yeah, that one caught me completely off guard because he doesn't even show up. He's just like a henchman randomly in the middle of the movie. I was like, is that fucking Billy Bob Thornton? All right. I mean, it was like the year before Sling Blade or 2 years before Sling Blade or something like that.
I kind of want something other to eat.
What this movie is Steven Seagal wrote a book report about nature and the environment and then decided to make a movie so he could say his book report at the end of it.
Like there's something called an author statement that you say, I want to talk about this in this movie, and you normally use characters and story, and you subvert everything to say it in theme. You don't just outwardly say it.
I've been asked by Mr. Etok and the Tribal Council to speak to you and the members of the press about the injustice that's been brought against us by some government officials and big business.
I want to be honest with all of you. I've been hacking into government and corporate systems all over the country.
That's why it's like a Neil Breen movie. Like we're in the Neil Breen movies. He sits down and it's like, let me tell you about the government and corruption. And then this one at the end of the movie fucking sits down and is like, hey, you watching this movie, dum-dum. The nature, we gotta save it, dum-dum. And I'm like, what is happening? So let's get into the actual movie, though. The beginning of it, the first,
the first 20 minutes is completely competent.
Yeah, well, there's a couple things, but like the first thing I was like, whoa, like after the opening credits or whatever, they're flying through the mountains. But the first shot where the helicopter is flying around that oil rig fire is fucking cool. Yeah, like it's this big wide shot of this helicopter and there's this huge fucking like oil rig on fire. And this is how we're introduced to our character, or Steven Seagal's character. He's like a guy who like takes care of he's like an environmental agent or something like that.
He's a tech demo expert basically who knows how to contain things that are out of control.
Yeah, like oil spills and like big oil fires and like chemical leaks and stuff like that is what he does. That's what they get him to go take care of them.
I think my favorite early line is when the oil, I think his name's Hugh, the old dude.
Yeah, Hugh.
He's saying, "You sold your soul to the oil company, Forrest." That's Steven Seagal's character.
Yeah.
You sold your soul for some money.
You used to be a good man, Forrest. Now you're nothing but a whore.
Steven Seagal's response is,
$350,000? I'd fuck anything once.
But like, as the helicopter, so there's a big oil rig fire. As the helicopter's landing, I'm like, is Steven Seagal gonna get out of that helicopter and kung fu the fire to death? Basically, he does.
Like, he steps out in the most badass, like, ped up shot.
Yeah,
of him smoking a cigarette.
Yeah, smoking a cigarette. He pedestals up his whole body, and he's wearing his sweet Native American tassel coat that he wears throughout this whole thing. And he takes it off so he can put on his hazmat firefighting suit.
Apparently, all you have to do to stop an oil spill is put some explosives at a location, just a
that's
location.
The thing they do. Did you know that?
Blow it the fuck
Yeah,
up.
that's the thing they do. They use explosives to put out oil fires because you pull all the oxygen out of the air. Or, well, the explosion, from what I understand, at least this is how I think it's supposed to work, is that the explosion starves all the oxygen so the fire goes out. Now, it's actually a thing they do.
Brian Shilgo, firefighter expert.
Oil rig firefighter expert. But I think I've heard that. And I think that's a thing that's actually done, which is interesting. But I love, he gets like a big shield.
All right, boys, where's my shield?
And he like goes
in. I'm like, what is he? He's like a Spartan?
Yeah, he's like going, it's got a little eye slit so you can look through it. And he's like, where's my shield? He says that. But it's that's our great intro to him. He's kind of a badass.
Very impressive, Forrest, as always.
So then we cut to, after we kind of established his character, he's hanging out at the local bar, the local oil worker bar, having a couple brewskis after work, and some of the local oil workers start picking on one of the Native Americans.
Listen to me, you yellow snow-eating, welfare-collecting, redskin piece of shit. Get the fuck out of here!
Because we're in Alaska. We never set that up.
Hang on. We got to establish who this guy is. The main.
Oh, yeah.
It's Mike Starr. You may know him from Dumb and Dumber.
Why don't you guys both stop acting like a couple of pussies and go at the same time, huh?
That sounds like a dare, Harry.
It's a double dare.
Oh, that's not where I knew him from. I didn't look up where
You may also know him from Goodfellas.
That might be what I was thinking of. Because I was like, God, this guy looks familiar. But like these oil workers like start picking on, like really hard. And I say picking on him, I mean like beating the shit out of this Native American guy and like dumping drinks on him and stuff. And I love, so Steven Seagal finally decides to go do something about him. And I love, as he's walking over, somebody from off camera just goes,
Fuck him up, Forrest!
fuck him up, Forrest!
So many times this happens. This movie is literally Steven Seagal's jerk-off material.
Oh my God.
Of he needs this for just to reassure himself that he's doing the right thing in life.
That's why I said it's like a Neil Breen movie, where it's like, it's one of those other things. Because not only does that, like, everybody, like, yells, like, woohoo, get him, Forrest! Like, you're the best!
He's the best. He's really the best.
And there's so many times where, like, the bad guys literally monologue about how awesome he is for, like, 5 minutes.
My guy in D.C. tells me that we are not dealing with the student here. We're dealing with the professor. Anytime the military has an operation that can't fail, they call this guy in to train the troops, okay?
There's one fucking great one where Michael Caine is like, look into the deep darkness of your soul, and do you realize, can imagine something so evil and dark that you can't even imagine it? That's him.
Delve down into the deepest bowels of your soul. Try to imagine the ultimate fucking nightmare, and that won't come close to this son of a bitch.
I also love the bartenders, like, or the lady who runs the bar, as they're going to fight, goes, don't break anything.
Forrest, don't break anything.
He proceeds to break everything in the bar.
Everything.
For no reason. He's like throwing them through every
If there is
surface.
a window anywhere nearby, it's
Steven
destroyed.
Seagal will throw you through it. It's like his favorite pastime is just throwing people through nearby windows. so after he beats, so this is the first like holy shit great moment.
Well, he's beating the shit out of Mike
Mike
Starr. Mike Starr's the last one up, and
he walks up to him.
He's like doing a hand slap.
Well, he goes, "Yeah, we got to play a game." And he goes, "You're a big man, right? You got big balls. Let's play a game."
Are you a man?
Oh, Jesus. Iron Man. Yeah, I'm a man. I got a big pair of balls right between my legs.
Did you use those to beat up on this little native man?
And they're doing literally the hand slap game he played in like elementary school. And he's like, if I hit you, then I get to punch you, and if you get me, you get to punch me. So he gets him and he just punches him in the stomach and knocks the wind out of him.
Why don't you just take your best shot, pal?
The last one, he gets him, and because the second time he punches him in the stomach, the dude throws up all over the floor. And then the last one, he combos him and breaks his nose.
And then as he's bleeding, Steven Seagal changes immediately and goes, "What does it take to change a man?"
What does it take? What does it take to change the essence of a man?
The essence of a man, I believe, is the exact line. And the guy goes,
I need time to change.
You know what? You're right. And
What the fuck?
Steven Seagal just punched the racism out of that guy. Just punched it right out of him. He goes, "You're right. I need to change," or something like that.
Time. I think time was one of the answers.
Yeah, something like that. Oh my god. And it's so great. He's just like, "Oh my god. Steven Seagal has magic fists. He just punched tolerance into that man." It's so amazing.
We'll give you a ride home. Thank you, my brother.
So then, this is great. I don't know if you caught this. So we cut back to the CEO, Michael Caine, and they're shooting a commercial.
I love that commercial.
They're shooting a commercial. So they're because they were like, he's like, "Well, we got to make a commercial so it makes people think you care about the environment, you know." And so they're sitting there, and the director's standing there, and the director is like,
"We start with an out of focus world. We pull back to one twig, one branch, and then the whole pristine forest."
Michael Caine's like, "Fuck, no, shut up. If you have any ideas, I don't care. Just go sit over there. I'm going to talk."
You have any great ideas, just keep them to your fucking self, okay? And leave this shit to me.
I'm like, why would you hire a director if you don't give a shit? But you know what's really awesome? Do you know who played the director?
Oh god, you're gonna blow my mind.
Yeah, I'm gonna blow your fucking mind.
Do it.
Irvin motherfucking Kershner, the director of Empire Strikes Back. Irvin fucking Kershner. I was scrolling through the credits, and I'm like, Irvin Kershner's in this movie? And I'm like, where the fuck is he?
Could you imagine being him and watching Steven Seagal behind the set directing this?
I know. It's like, I fucking directed Empire Strikes Back. I mean, he also directed a couple of shitty movies, but he directed Empire. And it's him, yeah. Yeah, Irvin Kershner. I was like, what the fuck? That is insanity.
It's like having like Brian De Palma.
I know. It's like, it's such a weird thing that he would agree to do. I mean, I guess it makes sense. He's kind of a weird, or he was that kind of guy who would do something like that. But still, like, oh shit, all right.
Just by the way, Michael Caine for all this, he's just perfect to play a sleazy CEO.
Yeah. And I love too that you're an evil oil baron. Of course, you have jet black oil hair, like just like black. He's got like a black. He's so evil, his hair turns black. Well, what happens right after this is then Steven Seagal decides he's gonna kind of
the Hugh, the foreman, asked him to look into
it, and so he uses his security clearance to like look in and realizes there's some parts.
Look at technology.
Yeah.
Look how technology works. It's ridiculous because they like show like a 3D like wireframe model of this thing, and he just like, oh, I better click on this thing and bring it to that area.
Yeah. And so he realizes that some of the parts they're using for this, they're building a new super fancy oil rig on some land that if they don't have it built within 2 weeks, I don't know how any of this works and if this is real or not, but if they don't have it built and functioning within a certain amount of time, then the land reverts back to the natives somehow for some reason.
It's confusing in this regard because you can go if the claim is that it needs to be with up-to-date drilling standards.
Oh, is that what it is?
That's the only way it can make sense,
yeah.
because you could go primitive drilling standards and just do a single line hole into it, and as long as you get a containment of oil, that should be it. That should be good enough.
I don't know. I guess, like I said, I don't know how oil...
Which it doesn't make any sense from a business perspective to be like, well, if it's causing massive fires and we need to use explosives and we need to destroy our products...
Fine. I didn't get what their goal was, because he's like, well, as long as we keep the land so we can drill there, but it blows up, it'll blow up everything, but that's fine. I don't know. It was very strange. I didn't understand.
Like, at what point is your loss of equipment and loss of ability to produce the oil...
Yeah.
When does that outweigh the other thing?
The fact that you own that, like, you can use that land and drill. I don't know. I didn't understand the politics of exactly all this. Who cares? It doesn't matter. But
I don't think the writers really understood it either.
The point is, they have to have this thing up and going within a certain amount of time, so they're pushing through with unsafe equipment, and they figure this out. And I love they cut back to, after he gets in, they cut back to Michael Caine's office, and Dr. Cox is like,
so he's used his security code to gain access to the main computer, has he?
That is correct, sir.
Well done. It would seem your friend, Forrest Taft, has gained access to a restricted Agents 1 file, a requisition file.
He says, he goes, yeah, there was a security breach. He used his security code to gain access to the computer.
That's not a security breach.
I'm like, no, but like he just like says out loud the sentence. He's like, hey, audience, we want you to know that what he did was he used his security code to gain access to the computer mainframe.
So he's used his security code to gain access to the main computer, has he?
That is correct, sir.
All right. Yeah. Also, it's not a security breach. He works for you. It's whatever. So then they realize, okay, they know some shit. So he sends Dr. Cox to go. First to go after Hugh, because Hugh has information. Yeah, he somehow has logs of, like, because they were saying, well, that first fire was his fault.
Yeah.
But he's like, no, it was faulty equipment. And so he somehow has proof that it was faulty equipment, maybe, on his computer. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Oh, so he downloads his computer.
The 90s in technology.
So Hugh downloads his computer onto a floppy disk.
Your computer's been downloaded, Hugh.
Good God. Like, hard drives existed. Like, you can undo a computer and get to the actual hard drive. By the way, you're not going to be fitting that on a floppy disk. I know some computers can be very basic, but you're not fitting that on a goddamn floppy disk.
So then Dr. Cox shows up with his little assistant buddy, and they're there
his super Russian assistant.
Yeah, and they're there to get the information from Hugh. And so they tie him up in a chair, and he's like, where's the... Well, he looks at his computer and realizes he downloaded his computer or whatever. And so he's like, where's the disc? Or whatever. Where's the disc?
It's like a goddamn... I think it's a
whalebone or a walrus tusk or something like that.
Breaking his goddamn fingers.
Smashing his fingers with a giant, piece of ivory of some sort. Oh, no! And he's like, fuck you, I won't tell you. So they get a fucking pipe cutter.
Hey, you want to talk about faulty equipment? Well, let's see how faulty this little pipe cutter is.
And goddamn cut his leg off. By a suit, or just cut it into his leg, and he's like fucking screaming, and so they torture him and stuff, and then it cuts away, and we don't know. We assume they kill him, but we don't know yet.
I think it's around this time we get our first...
I also just real quick, Dr. Cox yells at the guy. He's like, God damn it, Hugh, there is no I in team. It is T-E-A-M.
There is no I in team. It is T-E-A-M. Team.
His yelling is the best.
I know.
Because it's yelling, but it's also whiny yelling.
Yeah, he does. He's super whiny yells and all of this.
Don't quit while you're ahead. You know what I'm saying? Why, you can still play marbles. Where are the discs? Where are the books?
So it's the first time we get to see Aegis 1, this giant oil platform.
Yeah. Oh, the composite on this is terrible.
There's no water displacement, so it's just literally underneath it.
Oh, it looks awful. Oh my god, that shot is not good. And then so we cut this, and this is I think one of the first press conferences, or one of the press conferences where he gets the oil thrown on him.
Blood of our people is upon you, Mr. Jennings.
By that woman. Is that the same woman from Lane? Okay. She's Chinese, playing an Inuit.
Which, by the way, they have. I guess their lawyer, like the Native
like
American
the head
tribes,
of the tribal like
council.
He's like I think.
He's asking him like all this damage you're doing to our environment.
That guy,
and stuff.
That actor is real struggling to remember his lines. Throughout. Like you can see him reaching, trying to remember his lines.
The same tribal council, sir, that will get those rights back 12 days from today when you don't make the start up deadline for Aegis 1.
And then she just goes up and goes, "Here is the blood of our people," and throws a thing of oil on
Michael Caine. It's great.
It's great. The way he reacts is like, "Oh God, I hope it's not. I hope it's like, what would you prefer it be blood? Actual blood or like?"
Yeah.
His reaction.
He's like, "What
was
is it?
bizarre.
Oh, thank God, it's oil."
What is it, Lass?
It's oil.
Oh, thank God.
Then they're like, now that they got rid of Hugh, they're like, time to take care of Steven Seagal. So like, we got one, and Steven Seagal at this point has been arguing with them. He's like, "Yeah, guys, shit's not safe or something." So they're like, we got one more thing.
Substation that's
leaking gas or something.
So he goes up there and like it's got to be like caustic gas or something like that he's going into.
Yeah, it was
because
like
it's
yellow,
like yellow smoke coming out. So he goes in there. The whole place is wired with explosives and flooding with
and
oil.
Hugh's body is laying there with the pipe cutter still on his leg, like still sitting there. It's like, I'm glad they kept that.
But he sees it and runs before they
as they blow it up, and he gets fucking launched. Like Seagal gets fucking launched.
Holy
his body
shit.
goes flying. There's some great dummy shots in this, and I assume that must be one of them. But
I believe I can fly. Woo. I believe I can touch the sky.
So they think he's dead initially, and but he's like unconscious, and then he gets found by some Inuits.
Those subtitles in there are pretty fantastic.
What subtitles?
Of the Eskimos.
Oh, when they're
finding-
talking, right? Yeah. No, I had a spirit vision, and
Spirit vision that the man bear is in the smoke.
I was like, Man Bear Pig? Is it Man Bear Pig?
I'm talking, of course, about Man Bear Pig.
So they find him and take him back to this
They're like, they're
village, and they're like taking a knife and digging fucking shrapnel out of his back.
Yeah. The chief comes in a bird hat and like a bird, like a crow thing.
Well, and there's that woman who's like trying to chew his food for him.
Yeah,
They're
like chewing food,
no,
and he does
no.
that. He's like, no, I don't. So then he tries to steal a dog sled from them. He's been there. He's kind of recovers.
That scene's amazing.
Yeah, it's kind of great.
He's like reaching for the dog. He's like, "We're gonna go for a ride," and they start ripping him to pieces.
They grab all of his limbs and they're like yanking him. He's like, and then it's like, oh, is this how this ends? He just gets eaten by sled dogs.
That one dog was really wanting to get at his nuts.
Yeah. Well, earlier in that bar fight scene, Steven Seagal has a thing about nuts. He like grabs one dude's nuts and then throws them across.
The guy's 80-yard line in is, "Oh, my nuts!
Oh, my nuts!" Yeah, it's like I think there's two separate guys in that fight where one of them like he grabs him by the nuts and throws them, and the other guy kicks him in the nuts. I'm like, wait, he knows what's effective. So then he goes, they're like, okay, don't you tried to steal our sled, but that's fine. Good. Now it's time to go on your spirit journey.
And this is where it goes
trippy as
fucking
shit.
Crazy.
And I could not for 1 second put together what was supposed to be real and what was supposed to be spirit journey.
I didn't think I thought we were gonna get through another film where we didn't get titties all over the place, but
no,
we did.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that either. It's like they like sweat lodge weird. Are they like the two in front? Are they like fucking rubbing one out? Like they're like moaning and breathing weird. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. So he goes on this weird spirit journey. The guy, the chief,
puts a feather in his head,
and it makes that great sound effect.
Then you will find your way back.
It's like that. It's like the fucking one of the like most common shitty cheap like vroom sound effects when it hits him. And then he goes on this wild like tripped out spirit journey where he fucking tackles a bear.
By the way,
it's a real bear.
It is. It's Bart the bear, I think.
Oh,
it's like one of the most famous bears that's worked in
But he tackles it and he starts stabbing it. I'm like, why are you stabbing it? That's not like nature. Like,
and
I don't
then he
know.
gets thrown into a river, and the shot, that cut.
The dummy shot of him flying into the river is fucking amazing. It's fucking amazing.
But like he does this whole like coming out of the water thing.
And then he falls back down in the water. And I'm like, that's not how that scene's supposed to play out. You're supposed to come out triumphantly and like, I am cleansed or whatever. But no, he like slouches right back down into the water.
John C. McGinley like is saying that they can't find the body, right?
Yeah.
Saying they can't find the body.
Whenever I lose something in the morgue, I just retrace my steps. Like right now, I'm looking for something, and I know I came to the vending machine, and then I dropped a quarter, which rolled over here, and yep, there you are.
And Michael Caine's like, you better find the body, or like otherwise he's still alive. I know he's still alive because he's the best. He's the best. He's just the best at everything.
Yeah.
And so they're go out looking for the body, and they run across the village.
Yeah.
And they find his like
coat or something. It's a big coat or something.
Yeah, that he was wearing whenever he was in the explosion.
Yeah.
And the end result of this confrontation is John C. McGinley shooting the village elder.
John C. McGinley is such an asshole in this movie. Like the village elder, like kind of takes a step towards him. And he's like, "Bam!"
He doesn't just take a step towards him. He's like, "Ugh."
Oh, does he?
he kind of does a stumble forward a little bit.
And John C. McGinley shoots him in the chest, and then they're like, "Oh, we gotta get the fuck out of here!"
He attacked me. You saw that.
You saw it. He attacked me. It's like he's an old man.
So this dude is like bleeding to death in this hut, right?
Yeah.
And Steven Seagal is on his way back.
Yeah,
from
and this
something.
is where I was confused because that's where I really could have used a time jump because the last time we saw him, he came out of the water, and the chieftain guy was there.
Mm-hmm.
And like got him.
Yeah, you know.
But then the next scene,
exactly. This is
Seagal's gone, and the chieftain's in the village. I was like, wait, what? What is going on? Also, there's a really awful during his little spirit vision where he gets to choose between the super hot smoking lady and the old weirdo with a rattle, and he chooses the old weirdo with a rattle. I guess the fucking blurry vision thing they did in that is oh my god, it looks awful. Like it's like it just makes your eyes feel like they're fucked up. Like I'm like, do I need glasses to watch this scene?
Steven Seagal gets back just in time for this chieftain to die.
Yeah.
And then he like hands him a necklace, and it says like you are imbued with the spirit of the bear and the eagle. Use them to protect these lands.
The people, yeah.
And then he just dies. He like gives a bit of a chuckle and then dies.
Yeah.
And then they were like, now we need to be proactive about this.
Get on
just
it.
got real. Here's a fucking snowmobile that we did not use to save our chieftain.
For emergencies, but not our chieftain guy. Fuck him. Well, they go to
Hugh's
place. Yeah.
Which is torn apart.
Yeah, shredded because they went through looking for the floppy
looking
disk.
for it, and then they found out they've been followed.
Yeah.
Or was this? No, this is after.
This is before the mercenaries. This is
so
just
they go up into the bedroom and they open this closet which has not been searched.
Yeah.
And they find it in a bag that contains guns and a change of clothes.
Yeah.
And has the floppy disk.
Like,
why
did you look at that?
You destroyed the dishwasher, the entire kitchen, and the living room, but you didn't go into this.
He didn't go into his bedroom closet. Cool. Good job. You guys are the worst fucking bad guys ever. So then the bad guys that tailed him show up, and they're like, oh, we got, he goes,
oh, looks like my friends are here to play.
It's pretty dope that he shoots up through the
shoots through the ceiling and shoots a guy in the dick. He shoots that guy, shoots a lot of people in the dick or punches a lot of people in the dick in this movie.
Oh, dude, he shot him in the dick. Huh? That's not cool, Butters. You don't shoot a guy in the dick.
So they get into a shootout, and there's a scene where Otto comes in and like fires a few shots at him, and then takes cover on the other side of the cabinet from him.
Yeah.
Steven Seagal gets out and gets into a fist fight, and I'm like, shoot him! Yeah, you have a gun, shoot him!
Because because then he tries to after that, and it's like either out or he jams or something. But yeah, I know. But I love when he stands up after that. So he shoots a few guys. He stands up, and the guy, I guess, is out of bullets, and he throws his gun at Steven Seagal's head, and Steven Seagal's like, wham! Dodge the shit out of the gun, and then like proceeds to beat his ass, and then he beats the one dude to death with the fucking ivory thing, which is great.
Retribution.
Yeah. So then, after this happens, they realize, okay, well, shit's real. We need to hire better people. We cut back to Michael Caine's character.
Oh, okay.
And they're like, hey, we need to hire mercenaries. Because Michael Caine's like, delve down into the deepest part of your soul. That's how dangerous fucking Steven Seagal is when he's mad. And John C. McGinley's like, well, he's mad.
Holy shit. I know a group of people in Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
What about independent contractors? I know of a group based out of New Orleans.
Independent contractors? You mean mercenaries?
Something like New Orleans.
And then they fly in on a helicopter, and it's fucking Arlie Ermy.
Goddamn right it is.
It's fucking amazing. And a couple other choice characters, including Mr. One Billy Bob Thornton.
So they get to not quite Johnny Depp.
They get this. To me, he looked like he was like George Harrison, Inuit George Harrison, or like Inuit John Lennon or something. Yeah, it's fucking great. I guess that's his house. I thought it was Steven Seagal's house, and that guy's like his buddy or something.
Steven Seagal has a shack on his property, I think.
Oh, okay.
So, and this dude is, by the way, strapped.
Yeah,
he just has a bunch of guns and C4
open a little
and stuff.
Secret room, and there's just every gun ever. But this is great, and one of the first parts where Steven Seagal monologues. Oh, this speech is so good. Steven Seagal sits there and just goes on and on and on about how they got to fight to protect the nature and blah, blah, blah.
What do you think? Some angel is going to miraculously come down out of the sky and stop, say, 350 billion tons of oil from being spilled into our oceans every year? Maybe some ghost will stop all the cars from using gasoline.
It's all these damn oil companies dumping off their stuff.
Maybe somehow some spirit will trip the big switch and all the technology that's been repressed for the last 70 years will suddenly be ours, and it'll be a better place to live, a beautiful place.
But then he gets super pissed. He's also like, she's like, well, we gotta trust the we gotta believe in a miracle, or I don't know. She says something about, and he's like, fuck that, no bullshit magic is gonna help us. He goes,
see, I love the spirit world and I loved your father, but it doesn't matter right now. What really matters is the cold, hard reality of this world, and that's what we gotta deal with. I didn't want to resort to violence. I don't have a choice.
So he says he loves her father in that speech. I'm like, how long did you know that fucker?
Like
you were there
3
for like a
hours.
day. Like, you loved him? All right.
Your dad took a piece of shrapnel out of my back.
He was the best man I ever knew. All right, fine. Seagal and his Native American friend, Chinese Native American friend, go up into the mountains to his hut to go find all the C4. And a good lord, to see have so much C4 and claymores and all the explosives and grenades and everything. But, and so while they're doing that, the bad guys are flying around in a helicopter with a scanner looking for him. And this scanner, when they find him, so Steven Seagal's like, well, okay, I'm going to switch on this phone I got, because then it'll have a signal and they'll be able to find me, and I want them to find me. And he turns it on, and then it cuts back up to the helicopter, and it's literally like a camera view with like a little grid on it of like the mountainside, and then he turns the phone on, and a little crosshair pops up.
Yeah, what's the location? Yeah.
Like, that's not how that would work. It's a video game. No, that's really dumb. So then they sets up a bunch of booby traps, which is great.
With mouse traps and batteries.
Yeah, but those are just the secret. Those are the decoy booby traps. There's actual other booby traps. So they're riding their horse. The bad guys are riding their horses, and they come across the first booby trap wire. And so the guy's like, "Oh, this is some bush league shit." And Billy Bob Thornton is like talking like that's gonna get you killed, or maybe it's not Billy Bob. Somebody says that. And that guy rides his horse. He's like, wow, this guy's a fucking chump. And he rides his horse, and the claymore that he had strapped to a tree goes off.
Hold it up! Wait a minute!
And the shot of the guy's body,
it just goes.
Sprays
gone.
claymore shrapnel through him. It's kind of great.
I like the other dude flies off and down a side of the hill.
Yeah, and lands on spikes. And then at this point, Dr. Cox pulls out his gun and just starts firing it randomly. into the air, everywhere, shooting.
Orly Irby's like, what are you firing at?
There's nothing out there. What the hell are you shooting at? Put it away. I put it away.
It's so great. Because that's what I was like. I was like, what the fuck are you even shooting at? He's just shooting it at nothing.
Ooh. That leaping scene, leaping the gorge.
Oh, yes. It was so good. Because there's a big horse chase that happens.
Yeah.
And they get to a gorge, like a ravine. And initially it looks really far, but then they show a side shot. It's like 5 or 6 feet.
Yeah.
I was like, initially when they ride up to it, it looks like, I'm like, oh shit, you guys are in trouble. But no, this is really close. So then he sets down a bomb on the one side, and then they jump over, and oh, that is a glorious shot of them jumping their horses over that ravine. And then he blows it up so that the ravine is too wide for them. It like blows one edge off the ravine. He could have just waited for them to get there and blown them up, but you know, I guess he didn't want to. He didn't want to hurt the horses, probably. But there's a scene. I don't know if you've ever been horseback riding. I've been a few times when I was younger, when like Boy Scouts. There's a scene where these guys are riding, like the bad guys are riding down, galloping full speed down this super steep hill. And I was like,
that is not no.
If you've ever ridden a horse, and I'm not like a good horse rider. I've only done it a few times when I was a kid. But like going downhill is terrifying, even when you're like walking, because like it feels like this horse is gonna slip and die. I can't imagine galloping that fast down that steep. And if you see at the end of the shot, one guy like falls off his horse. Like one of the, I'm pretty sure I remember like in the very bottom corner, right before they cut, one of the stunt actors is like falling out of his horse as it gets to the bottom of the hill. And I was like, holy shit, I'm not on board with that.
The whole point of this was kind of not moot. It was to stop the people from chasing him, but they're like,
This guy's good.
At least we know where in the hell he's going to now, don't we, Mac?
Damn right. They just won.
Well, at least we know where exactly he's going. Where they're going.
Yeah. You knew the whole time. He was going to the place. Okay.
Ooh. The last 20 minutes of this film are fucking crazy.
Nonsense, yeah.
It's just, all it is Steven Seagal setting up explosives, killing people in various ways. And then watching people either get killed by Steven Seagal or die from environmental hazards.
Yes. The soda bottle silencer is the first thing that happened.
Which, by the way, that would not work.
Yes, it does. Soda bottle silencer, that's a real thing.
That's a real.
That is a real thing. You get one shot, from what I understand, but yeah, it's a real thing. If you tape a soda bottle, you can even just hold it. You don't even have to tape it.
How would that not be incredibly loud?
It's loud, but it's much quieter. It acts the exact same way that a silencer works. It keeps air from the blowback air.
Which, if you've ever shot a
it's still loud.
Silencer, it's still incredibly.
Yeah, it's still loud, but it's much quieter compared to a normal unsuppressed. And that actually that's a legit real thing. Using a soda bottle. Yeah, I'm not. No, it is. I've seen.
Well, I've just been educated today.
Yeah. So at one point, they're like, after they blow a bunch of stuff up and the power goes out and then comes back on or something, this is a great scene where they're like, okay, well, Michael Caine's like, we're fine. Or somebody's like, we'll be fine.
I mean, seriously, this guy'd have to be fucking out of his mind to try to get in this place now.
He's got to get to a certain point, and if he doesn't get there, if he doesn't get to a certain point,
this Michael Caine line delivery.
Oh, it's so great. Because he goes, if he has to get to this one point, and the guy's like, and that's impossible. And Michael Caine, no shit, delivers this line.
Forrest Taft is the patron saint of the impossible.
The patron saint of the impossible. It's so funny.
And then he's like, he'll never be able to get to the deck.
Yeah.
We're like, nothing can stop us now.
Yeah.
The most diabolically stupid evil.
Yeah, it's great.
He'd need a miracle to stop us now.
John C. McGinley gets back to the bridge and says, this place is going up.
Yeah.
I'm getting the hell out of here. Screw you, you're not paying me enough, or whatever, and leaves. And then the lawyer leaves. The
lawyer's like, yep, fuck this. I love it.
I gotta use the bathroom.
He's like, where are you going? And she's like, the bathroom?
Where are you going?
To the bathroom.
Bye.
And then he leaves, and then everybody else is like, nope.
Stay here, I'm going to the rig.
everybody else books it. Well, he doesn't. Yeah, he goes out to like to the refinery or whatever. And then everybody else is like, "Fuck this," and gets out. And so then we get a scene too. This is great, of the mercenary of Arlie Ermy telling his men, he's like, "All right, we're gonna try to snipe him, guys. We need to," and he's like explaining what the concept of sniping.
What I want you to do is snipe the guy, okay? You can see much better if you're higher.
He's like, "We need you somewhere up high so you can shoot him," and I'm like, "You guys are
a better shot from a higher."
Yeah. I'm like, did your mercenaries not understand this very basic principle? Why are you explaining this right now?
And then this is the scene where he's also explaining, like, this guy is a goddamn angel of death. And this spends like 3 minutes or something like that, explaining how much of a badass Steven Seagal is.
My guy in D.C. tells me that we are not dealing with the student here. We're dealing with the professor. Anytime the military has an operation that can't fail, they call this guy in to train the troops, okay? He's the kind of guy that would drink a gallon of gasoline so he could piss in your campfire.
It's literally just him, like, and Steven Seagal's, Steven Seagal's directing the scene. He's just off camera. He's just like, yeah, say it, Artie.
You could drop this guy off at the Arctic Circle wearing a pair of bikini underwear without his toothbrush, and tomorrow afternoon he's going to show up at your poolside with $1 million smile and a fistful of pesos.
Say it. Say it. How great am I?
This guy's a professional, you got me? If he reaches this rig, we're all gonna be nothing but a big goddamn hole right in the middle of Alaska.
And the guy he's explaining it to has a look on his face of like,
let's go find him and kill him and get rid of the son of a bitch.
It's literally that.
Amazing.
The escape, the helicopter. So they try.
Yes.
The
lawyer and John C. McGinley.
They try to escape in a helicopter, and it gets shot up by Steven Seagal.
Steven Seagal shoots the shit
And
out of
as they're leaving, he grabs John C. McGinley and is like, "You're gonna die now." Tries to plead with plea bargain, basically.
Yeah. He's like, "Oh, you need me because
I have the files. I have all the evidence." He's like,
"If you want to change things,
you got that in your pocket right now."
I got files, I got tapes, I got books. You better have them in your pocket right now. I got them. Yeah.
Yes, and then he just decides to attack him.
Yeah. And so he shoves his face into the fucking rotors of the rear rotor of the helicopter. Which is kind of awesome.
But then the woman tries escaping.
Oh, this is incredible. This is one of the best parts of the whole
She's
movie.
like driving and then looks at Steven Seagal. What is the line she says?
Fuck him.
And she's like driving like 30 miles an hour.
I don't remember, but she's just driving. I don't remember what she says.
Then she looks back and she drives into a fucking tanker.
Fuck him.
A gas tanker.
Directly. I'm like, where were you going?
Fuck him.
Where were you driving? What was your plan? Because she's driving, and then she looks, and then looks back, and immediately runs into. I'm like, where were you going? There's just fucking what? What's happening? And so she gets like fucking clobbered, it's like bleeding, and the oil tanker
just ignites.
Yeah,
and blows
runs
up.
over to the fire and blows up, and she gets shit blown out of her. And then, so this is when we get the great. We just watched that woman explode, and we just watched John C. McGinley's head get cut off. So we need some comic relief. So we cut to Billy Bob.
What do you think? Stock in or out? What do you think?
I don't think it's going to make much difference.
He's debating whether or not to have his stock out or stock
folded in.
I don't know if I have the stock out. I feel like a pussy. I gotta embrace it. If I have it in, I look more intimidating.
Well, I do, see, because when it's out, I kind of feel like a pussy. You know what I'm saying? And when it's in, it feels like, I don't know, meaner or something. And when I kill this son of a bitch, I won't feel good about myself. I won't feel solid.
It's like I feel meaner when I get it. It's fucking amazing. I feel like, wait a second. They need to like Billy Bob Thornton, just improv about your machine gun for a few minutes. We'll pull the best parts. It's so
well, we go back to him again whenever Steven Seagal ignites the dude's teammates, like 3 guys. They're like, don't let him get past this point. And he's like, is this gas? Oh shit.
Yeah.
They ignite.
And then they're waiting in an elevator.
Yeah,
they think he's in an elevator.
Billy Bob Thornton looks at that and he goes,
Jesus Christ, this motherfucker's good. I told you he's good, didn't I?
It looks like they's coming this way or something like that. fucking great. And so they go to an elevator. Him and his buddy go to an elevator, and they're waiting for it. And the elevator gets there, and they like unload before the doors open. And then I guess
there's a claymore.
There's a claymore in it, but when it doesn't explode like a claymore, because claymores, I'm pretty sure, like earlier, just shoot out shrapnel. They're not like big, but this is like a big fucking fireball, like blows them off a railing. And
when that happened, I was like, Billy Bob, no.
You are too pure for this world.
They're getting to the point where they're shutting down.
They're like done. Everybody's dead or gone.
Yeah.
Except for
Arlie. He gets up with a shotgun.
He's like hiding in oil.
And this goes against this goes against every single military training ever. You're with a shotgun. Why don't you get literally 3 feet away from your opponent?
Also, movies, every movie tends to be guilty of this, but like Arlie Ermey doesn't have a history with Steven Seagal. He doesn't need to have some big long speech with Steven. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing he wants to discuss. He's just there to kill Steven Seagal. So he sneaks up behind him with a shotgun, could just shoot the shit out of him. But yeah, like you said, walks right up to him. And puts the shotgun like in his stomach. And then says something. And then there's a beat. And then Steven Seagal.
Oh, I'm supposed to do this now.
I'm gonna shove this goddamn shotgun up your ass and blow the top of your fucking head off.
Grabs the gun, flips it around backwards, and shoots.
Puts a goddamn hole through him. Like,
kind of amazing.
That squib that they blew out the back of.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing.
It's huge.
Yeah, but I just love how, like, man, Arlie Ermey has the worst reflexes ever. Because Steven Seagal's just standing there and goes, "Boom!" and spin. I'm like, dude, just shoot. Oh my god, it's so fucking dumb.
They are able to eventually track down Michael Caine.
So they get into this room, and a bunch of guys are there, and they like say, "No bullets, don't shoot in here," because it's not like the whole place is burning down. But whatever. So they all pick up like wrenches and shit.
And there's some dudes that have knives and like, whoa.
Yeah. And so Steven Seagal hand-to-hand fights all these dudes. He's like beating the shit out of them. It's kind of great. But then the last guy, this guy's got a knife, and he grabs him and he just like real quickly disarms him and shoves the knife in his head and then slams his head against the wall and the knife comes out the back. It's kind of great, but so then he finally finds Michael Caine.
By the way, everybody's left the rig.
Yeah, everybody's gone.
And apparently Michael Caine's an oil expert. I guess you have to be.
He knows how to run all the fucking
and
machinery.
so he's like trying to get it working himself.
Yeah, he's like, I gotta do this. I'm like, dude, recognize when something is a lost cause. This is a fucking lost cause. Everything is on fire.
But they I guess like take him up to a railing and say it ends here. And Michael Caine's just like, yeah, I'm done here. All right. And he just begins leaving.
I'm leaving.
I got a better idea.
You're a macho man with a coat of honor. You won't shoot me in the back.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like, no, you won't shoot me in the back. That's what he says. You won't shoot me in the back. And he just leaves. And so he lassoed
him with metal. Well, yeah, with metal. Yeah. I'm like, I would almost think that your foot would get cut off at a point.
No, if you were hanging from your feet by metal wire, yeah, I don't know. So he lassos them around his feet with like steel cable, and then hangs them from a balcony.
They hang him from a crane.
Yeah, and then they walk down to where he's like, so they can see him, talk to his face. So what he does is, she says something. The Native American says like,
"For my father."
For my father, and so he doesn't shoot him, but he shoots the cable.
By the way, what a shot.
Yeah, hell of a shot. And so he falls like 20 stories.
That's slow-mo. But so that I feel like they forgot to shoot this at a higher frame rate for post because it is so choppy the entire way down.
Yeah. And then so he falls into like oil at the bottom, And then they're like, you got to get the fuck out because everything's exploding. And this part's actually, there's some cool car exploding stunts of them driving as fucking bombs are going off and shit. And so they get out, and then we get a shot of the thing blowing up, and then
movie's done.
Movie's done. Oh, if only.
Movie's done.
Oh, if only. Oh, if only the movie was
How does
done.
this end, Brian? How does this fantastic movie end?
Steven Seagal, like I said, has got to give us his book report on why pollution is bad.
Big business is primarily responsible for destroying the water we drink, the air we breathe, and the food we eat.
Oh my good lord. So this last part, it fades to like a courthouse. and all of the tribes are there. And Steven Seagal is up front.
He's like got his PowerPoint
giving a PowerPoint presentation.
And by the way, for somebody who's speaking at this event, they have no lights.
Yeah,
on
I was about to say, he's like in a shadow in the corner. I'm like, you can't even see him. Why? You should light your speaker. It's like basic stuff.
But he's just saying, like, every year, you know, big business is destroying our environment.
Oh, it's like fucking 3 minutes of him just like showing B-roll, like stock footage of animals and oil spills and cars and shit, and being like, we gotta go green, guys. And the government's, and he goes, but they call you a conspiracy theorist. I'm like, well, I'll probably call you a conspiracy theorist if you are a conspiracy theorist.
But in doing a little research, I realized that these people broker toxic waste all over the world. They basically control the legislation, and in fact, they control the law. The law says no company can be fined over $25,000 a day.
I think Al Gore watched this and just started being like, I need to do what this guy's doing. I like his kung fu. But I really like this.
Yeah, but it's just, and it's so, but the thing is, it's such a juvenile, like, he's just like, we gotta, guys, pollution's bad. It like basically boils down to pollution is bad. It's like, cool.
The conspiracy theorist type things.
Oh, he's like,
where he's like there's cars that can run on gas.
How many of you out there have heard of alternative engines? Engines that can run on anything from alcohol to garbage or water. Or carburetors that can get hundreds of miles to the gallon. Or electric or magnetic engines that can practically run forever.
Yeah, or like the cars that can run on hopes and dreams, but they don't let us use
them.
They'll
run on water. Of course, cars can run on gas. What the fuck am I talking about? Whereas like there's cars that can run on gas.
They're suppressing the cars that run on gasoline. They don't want us to know about them.
Carburetors that can get like a whole bunch of miles to the gallon.
Yeah, it's a bunch of bullshit.
It's like, but because of the oil cartels and corrupt government regulation, we and the rest of the world have been forced to use gasoline for over 100 years.
Isn't that corrupt?
But yeah, he has this, like you said, this juvenile kind of approach
well, it's just
to
because
it.
he's Steven Seagal. He punches people. That's what he does. He doesn't fucking leave that shit to like scientists.
And then they start going to credit. They have the freaking Inuit guy at the end who's like
gives him a hug.
Speech. Give him a hug and says,
and it freeze frames on the Indian hug.
The final line of the movie is, "The Earth is our grandmother."
Yeah. And then it goes to credits.
And then halfway through the credits,
has a post-credit scene. I'm like, did he pioneer the post-credit scene, Steven Seagal? But it's so pointless. Yeah. It's just like, they're on a boat.
Hey, look, there's a raven out in the middle of
her father's
Arctic.
Your father brought back because he was wearing the bird hat earlier, so it was him. But then they don't say anything.
That's just it.
It's just a shot of the bird, and they're like, oh, and then it ends. This movie's This movie is This movie's not good.
This movie is it's like it's borderline.
It's real borderline. I would say it's good bad because it's fun. What the cast is interesting and fun.
Let's prefix it. It's worthy enough to be watched as a bad film. It just borders on that, like how The Host has a lot of crazy, wacky, weird shit in it, but it's still just badly put together.
Movie, yeah.
This one flutters on that line.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's the thing is, it really is. It's the reason it is a Neil Breen, like it's Neil Breen movie. It's one man fighting and bringing down government or business corruption, except with a huge budget or like a $40 million budget and a bunch of big name actors, and it's somewhat competently put together, which kind of takes all the good parts of the Neil Breen that make Neil Breen movies so great out of the equation. It still has some good stuff, but it's I would say good bad. Because it's pretty entertaining still, even when it's not like wacky bad, it's not boring.
I just want bar fight Steven Seagal the entire time.
Yeah, the bar fight at the beginning, that's great. That's great. Fuck him up, Forrest! oh, we missed my favorite line in the whole movie. Holy shit. Oh, I'm so glad we. There's this one great. It's so good. When Michael Caine. It goes into the thing. It's after everybody else is dead and gone, and Michael Caine's in the refinery, like you said, trying to like fix things or whatever. And there's a guy, like an engineer, runs past, and Michael Caine turns to him and is like, "Hey, help me!" And the guy doesn't even turn around. He just keeps running, and you hear him yell back to Michael Caine.
Fuck
you! As he runs away. It's so amazing. I just love that. Like, Michael Caine's like, hey, help me. And the guy's like, fuck you. And then just keeps running. It's so random. It's such a quick little scene.
Yeah, on Deadly Ground. I think it's worth a watch.
I think it is, because like I really, when you watch it also through the lens of, this is the movie that spawned Neil Breen's career probably. He saw this movie and then he's like, I gotta do this. So yeah, boom, on Deadly Ground, Steven Seagal. Wrap it up. Guess what? We're never reviewing Double Down. Fuck you guys.
I know Kung Fu.